CAC, LTV, TAM, PMF. It's all jargon, but if you want to build a startup, you need to know it. Today I'm breaking down the essential terms that every entrepreneur needs to know. Think of this as your startup dictionary. And trust me, you want to know these terms before your first investor meeting. I'm Heini Zachariassen, the founder of Vivino, and I've been through all of this myself. Let's break these terms into 4 main categories that you will encounter on your journey. Business fundamentals. Let's start with the basic business terms that you'll hear nearly every day. Bootstrapping. This means building your company without external funding, using your own money, or better yet, your customers' money. Revenue. We actually bootstrap Vivino for the first year. It's tough, but you keep full control. Some famous bootstrappers include Blue Sky, eBay, and SpaceX. Some of these companies have pretty rich founders, which makes it easier to bootstrap. It's also common to be bootstrapped on a part of your journey, usually early on. Doesn't mean you'll be bootstrapped the entire journey. Burn rate. How much money your startup is spending every month. If you have no revenue, you're spending $50,000 a month, that's your burn rate. If you have revenue, you would deduct that from the number. Basically, how much money goes out every month. Simple, but crucial to track. Runway. How many months you can survive based on your current bank balance and burn rate. With $500,000 in the bank, $50,000 monthly burn, you have 10 months of revenue. Unit economics. The revenues and costs associated with your business model per unit, meaning when you sell one product or one service, how much money do you make of that seen isolated? If you don't understand unit economics, you do not understand your business. A lot of startups lose a lot of money, but if they have good unit economics, they might be able to turn that around. Bad unit economics? You're in trouble. CAC, customer acquisition cost. How much you spend to get one new customer. If you spend $1,000 on ads to get 100 customers, your CAC is 10. The lower, the better. LTV, lifetime value. How much money do you expect to make from a customer over the entire relationship with your company? The higher, the better. Higher LTV justifies higher CAC, so high CAC is okay if LTV is also high. You really need LTV to be higher than CAC. B2B, B2C, and B2B2C. Maybe we should make a song out of that. You've probably heard these. This describes your business model. B2B means you sell to businesses, B2C means you sell directly to consumers, and B2B2C means you sell through businesses to consumers. Each model requires different strategies and metrics. ARR, annual recurring revenue. The value of your contracted recurring revenue normalized for a year. This is gold for investors. It shows predictable, stable income. For SaaS companies, this is often the most important metric. KPIs, key performance indicators, the vital signs of your business. For Vivino, it was wine scanned, active users, and wine purchases. Pick your KPIs carefully. They will drive every decision you make. Moat, your competitive advantage that's hard for others to replicate. Could be technology, network effects, data, or brand. The wider your moat, the safer your business. For Vivino, it was all about data, the best data about wine. Then as we got stronger, the brand also became a strong moat. Funding terms. Okay, that covers off the basic. Now let's move on to some of the terms you'll hear when raising money. Pre-seed, seed, Series A, B, C. Again, we should make a song. These are funding rounds, each bigger than the last. Pre-seed, typically friends and family, and then angels. Seed is your first professional round. Series A is when things get really serious. You need real traction for that. B and C are for scaling things that are already working. You can check out my playlist for videos on different types of investors. How to get them, how to spot the good ones and bad ones, and more. Term sheet, the document outlining the conditions of an investment. Not a binding document, but it does set the stage for the entire investment. 99% of terms will not change from term sheet to actual investment, so you have to get it right. Read it carefully, it won't be too long. The devil's in the details. Valuation, your company's worth. Pre-money is before new investment, post-money is after and includes the invested money. If your pre-money valuation is $5 million and you raise $1 million, your post-money valuation will be $6 million. Cap table, short for capitalization table, shows who owns what percentage of the company. Pro tip, keep it clean and simple early on. Messy cap tables scare away future investors. Dilution, when your ownership percentage decreases after raising money. If you owned 100% and raised money at a 20% dilution, you now own 80%. It hurts, but good dilution funds growth. Remember, you can only sell equity once. Don't sell too much too early. Convertible note, a loan that converts into equity on the next round. This is especially popular in the early days. It delays putting a valuation on your startup. Safe, simple agreement for future equity. Think of it as a convertible note, just simpler. Created by Y Combinator, but now used widely. It's exactly what it says, a simple way to accept investment. Vesting, how employees or others earn equity over time. Standard is 4 years, with a 1-year cliff. This means if you leave within 1 year, you get nothing. After that, you earn it gradually over 4 years. Vesting keeps everyone committed. Option pool, shares reserved for current or future employees, usually 10-15% of the company. Think of it as a recruiting tool. Great talent wants equity. Liquidation preference. It's a preference that investors get because they put real money into your company. This means they stand first in line should the company be sold. 1x means they get their money back first before any other investors, employee, or founders get anything. 2x means they get their money twice before anyone else gets anything. 1x is fair. Anything above that should raise eyebrows. Product terms. Moving into the third category. These terms focus on building your product and scaling your startup. Product market fit. PMF. When your product perfectly satisfies a strong market demand, you'll know when you have it, when growth becomes almost effortless. Before PMF, everything's hard. After PMF, everything becomes easier. If you want to learn more about achieving PMF, check out my video with a framework to find product market fit. TAM, SAM, SOM. Again, we should make a song. TAM, total available market. Everyone who could theoretically buy your product. SAM, serviceable available market, the portion you can actually reach. SOM, serviceable obtainable market, the portion you can realistically capture. For Vivino, TAM was every wine drinker in the world. SAM was the wine drinkers with smartphones. SOM was what we could realistically reach in our target markets. North Star metric, the one metric that best captures your company's success. For Facebook, it's daily active users. For Vivino, it was monthly active users, but it changed later. Choose carefully, it will guide all decisions. Pivot, significantly changing your business strategy. Instagram pivoted from a check-in app called Bourbon to a photo-sharing platform. A good pivot can save your company. A bad one can render it obsolete. A pivot is a rare event, not something that happens every other month. MVP, minimum viable product. My favorite term. The simplest version of your product that can test your core hypothesis. Launch this first, improve this later. I have a lot of thoughts, opinion, and content about MVPs. Check out my latest video on MVPs and why yours might not be gaining traction. Churn rate, the percentage of customers you lose in a given period. Like a leaky bucket, you need to add enough new customers to more than offset the churn. Growth hacking, creative, low-cost strategies to grow your user base. Think Airbnb posting automatically to Craigslist. It's about being clever when you can't afford traditional marketing. Unicorn, a startup valued at over $1 billion. It used to be rare, now there are a few hundreds. But don't let the term fool you. Building a sustainable business matters more than any fancy valuation. Traction, number of users actually using your product or service. The ultimate evidence that people actually want what you're building. They're using it. Could be revenue, users, or partnerships. Traction overrules everything. If you have traction, you can't argue that the product doesn't work. With traction, it works. Investors obviously love traction. It really reduces their risk. Freemium, a business model where your basic product is free, but you charge for premium services. Think Spotify or LinkedIn or even Vivino. It's great for getting users in the door, but you have to nail the conversion to paid users. Technical terms. Finally, here are some more technical terms, especially useful for the non-technical co-founder. API, application programming interface. How software components talk to each other. Think of it as a waiter in a restaurant, taking requests from one place and delivering them to another. Startups will use a lot of different APIs as building bricks for any software product. SDK, Software Development Kit, a package of tools for building applications. Think of it as a Lego set with pre-made pieces for faster building. Tech stack, the combination of technologies your product is built with. Like the ingredients in a recipe, choosing the right ones really matters. Even as a non-tech co-founder, you'd probably know your tech stack. Technical debt, some sort of code or technical setup that needs to be fixed later. Like a credit card debt for your code base. Sometimes necessary, but expensive if not managed. Early stage startups build fast and sometimes build up technical debt. This may need to be removed before scaling or things start breaking. DevOps, combining development and operations, making sure your product can be built, deployed, and run efficiently. Wireframe, think of it as a blueprint for your product's interface. Just a basic layout without any colors or fancy design. At Vivino, we would wireframe everything before we built it. It's like sketching your house before construction. It's way cheaper to move walls around on paper than after they've been built. SaaS, software as a service. Software delivered over the internet, usually delivered with a paid subscription. Think Salesforce or Slack. Investors love SaaS for its predictable revenue. UI, UX, user interface, user experience. UI is what they see, UX is how they feel using it. Both are crucial. The most beautiful interface is useless if users can't use it. Agile, a development methodology focused on iterative progress. Instead of planning everything up front, you build, learn, and adjust as you go. Scrum, a way to implement agile development with fixed-length sprints and daily stand-up meetings. It helps teams stay focused and adapt quickly to changes. You'll hear a lot about this when building software. That's all I got. You may be familiar with some of these terms, or maybe most of them are new to you. If that's the case, it might be a little overwhelming right now, but you'll be throwing them around naturally before you know it. The key here is not just to understand what they mean, but how they actually affect your business. Any terms I missed and should have been on the list? Put them in the comments. Now stop watching, go build something, and use that new vocabulary.